Sunil Sunder. Tonight, I'm happy to speaking with AC, the Missile Swadling, a senior at Faith
Appreciate it.
Baptist High School in Canoga Park, California. Recently played quarterback, defensive back on the varsity football team, and recently committed to the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. AC,
Yep.
once again, thank you so much for the opportunity. Great to be speaking with
Appreciate for
you.
having me today.
No problem.
Appreciate having me
Congrats on
today.
your
I'm excited.
success. Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you. I'm so happy.
So let's talk about it. I said couldn't have asked or written a better script, to your senior year, especially on the varsity football team. What did it mean to, play for the Contenders this year for Faith Baptist High School? 9-1 record this season in the 2022 season. Just describe, said the journey there.
Well, starting with that, I appreciate, the introduction there. And I would like to, first come out, and I had a full ride scholarship going to Shalmrod my senior year. So I had two choices. I could stay home and I could, stay with the boys that I worked with since freshman year. Or I can go to a new home and find a new place. And I had that choice. And I went down, I prayed every day about it. And so I ended up going to the, Faith Baptist to stay with my family. And eventually they led me to be quarterback because we needed a quarterback. And I stepped up and I said, sure, I'll do it for the team. And I'll try to do my best, and I went undefeated all the way up to the championship. So it was a real good season. It was real fun. So I'm really thankful.
It's fantastic. I mean, this was a dynamic offense. When I look at the amount of points you guys put up every game and during the course of the season, I think if I break it down 5 times, 40 plus points. 58 against Avalon, 70, versus Grace Brethren in a playoff game. I mean, that is just like, those are staggering numbers when you think of it, but that's got to be a lot of fun. It's almost like you're playing in a video game here.
It is. Eight-man football is awesome. You have an 80-yard field, and it's like a Cracker Jack box, and you can't really do much outside of the, when you're running outside, you can't get out. So you got to come back in. But I genuinely, I had fun with everything because 8-man football brings character, and it takes a lot of personnel. So you're not going to have, a bunch of 6'4" boys. You're going to have a different type of range around kids, and they're going to be good with their hands or fast with their feet. So I just love 8-man football because I got to show everything. I got to be quarterback, wide receiver, kickoff returner. I mean, I got to be on kickoff, everything. It was awesome. So I had a lot of fun playing 8-man football.
Yeah, I mean, that is just incredible. The fact that you played multiple positions, so you could really get a taste of both sides, being a two-way player and again contributing in so many facets. Just speak to that, AC.
All right. Well, at quarterback, we didn't really know what we were going to do and how the offense was going to come out. So we saw the typical pocket in the back in the pocket, stepping back, and it wasn't working for me. And I was just telling them, let's just do options. So my running back, Parker Mills, he's going to College of the Canes, I'm pretty sure, to play some football and trying to bounce out from there. But he had some real good games where they didn't know whether to pick me or him. And let's say they picked me or him, I just drop back and I drop it over to Tracy, who's my 7-foot player on my basketball team, who's getting also recruited by a D1 school. So it was real fun, and it was just awesome. And my coach was all into it, and I had the school behind me. But yeah, the offense was awesome. We just were always, it was either option left, option right, with a pass out with it, of course. Yeah. So I could always have that option, and I could always get up there and call different audibles. And we always had this one play called green, and that just meant money. So that means everyone on the fly. That was probably one of my favorite plays.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Hey, just talk about the fact that both of those positions, especially when you look at them, quarterback, defensive back. You said you were kick return. I mean, multiple. But what were some of those? What were your favorite positions, and what again made them again for you, just the fact that you could really thrive in that type of environment?
Well, being quarterback, you have to have a lot of energy. People don't realize this. When you're trying to say hike, I mean, you're going from backpedaling to making tackles, and then you have to go right on the flip side to calling the plays, and that takes so much energy. I was puking so much every game. There wasn't a game I didn't puke on the field. So, but definitely, I like kickoff. on kickoff return, I mean, I do, and I have taken kickoff returns, touchdowns, but I like blocking. I think that's my favorite position on the. You can really get kids that aren't you don't have the head on a swivel and you just take them. So that's probably my favorite position is just hitting kids.
I was going to ask you at the end, but I'm going to I said, because you hit it right on the mark, the missile. So I want to know where you got that nickname from.
Well, I never was a kid that could play. I didn't play football up till, ninth grade. I played flag football just as a little smaller kid. Held myself back. I was 5'1" going into ninth grade before I got held back. So it was just a question to even play football. So when I got to my 10th grade, 11th grade year, our positions where wide receiver was taken, slot was taken. And I've been all summer just trying to get to that position and still got taken, which is okay. So I figured out where else do we need help at? And I realized defense. And I said, defense wins championships. And that's what was my motto. And I felt like going in with that idea, I told everybody, forget offense. I get we have to put points, but they can't score if we don't let them score. So I made that a very, very big point that season. Everybody stuck with me on the championship year, and that's why we won that one. So it was real fun.
That's wonderful to hear. I think collectively, 9 seniors on this team, but just talk about senior day and just that ride. I said that last ride with these guys, man, with your brothers. I mean, that's what they call football, is a true brotherhood.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, we just go through it week by week and just did you know entering this season that you guys could follow up what you did in your junior year?
So like you're saying, I got called the missile because of this, and they started calling me the missile because I was going head first into things, and it was not necessarily head first in the sense of doing that, but my eyes were up and always just standing attentive and trying to get someone on the shins or just I don't know. It's real fun doing that. So with that part of me, and I had Luke Rasmussen at quarterback who went to Moore Park, and he was 6'4". I had a great, our whole starting 5 guys was on the all CIF team, which is huge in 8-man football. So we had dogs. We had Colin Cashman. He was also 6'2". I would like to say 210, big boy, middle linebacker, also the end. So definitely riding that out, starting from the beginning. It started a little rough. It really did. We lost to Kate and Thatcher, which were our rival schools, and we were like, man, I don't know if we're gonna win this. But I felt like those 2 step backs and those 2 kind of slaps in the face was an awakening. It was like we gotta get our head on straight. I don't know what we're thinking, what this is, but we gotta get that ring. We just wanted that ring. That was it. So it was amazing.
Hey, the accolades, also came with your hard work. It really paid off here, AC. At 4-time All-League player, said 2-time, I think, CIF and football, also basketball as well. In your junior year, I think you won both the state championship in basketball and football. I mean, when you think of those achievements, I mean, how much I said the effort, the energy that went into it. I said especially in that off season. But for it to really evolve and just, to see, the fruits of your hard labor, I mean, what did that mean to you personally?
Well, first of all, glory to God, because without my ability to even play the sport, I don't think any of the achievements were possible. But honestly, at the end of the day, with anything, it's all heart. God judges our heart and who we are. And so with my heart, I like to go 100%, 110%, no matter what it is and who it is, I'm going to go right at it. And whether I'm small or big, just like David and Goliath. So that's kind of how I perceive my life. So
I wanted to ask you, of course, about head coach Rob Davidson, the rest of the coaching staff, what they meant to you. Said this past year, during these last, said these 4 years, in terms of your development.
Yeah, Rob Davidson, he's an amazing. He's more than a coach. He's really, really my friend. I think that's why we won together, definitely, and almost repeated. But it takes a lot between a coach and a quarterback, and just to have that chemistry. I feel like you really need that chemistry off the field to perform on the field, because how are you going to tell someone to do something when they don't really understand what you're asking them to do? So that first, getting that relationship with Rob Davison, he told me I'm a Division I football player the first day he met me. And, being in ninth grade, I didn't believe it at all. But I said, I'm going to do it. I mentally was keeping that Division I just in the picture. And
Yeah.
I never ever thought I'd actually get there. But I had hope and I had faith. And I felt that's why I did achieve what I achieved. I just
Yeah.
hope and faith and heart. Those are the three key things.
I'm wondering for you, it's probably coming full circle, as a senior, and then you see where you were as a freshman and learning from those seniors, those upperclassmen. So I'm wondering how it pivoted and where you were able to pass down that knowledge, that experience to the freshmen.
Yeah, I mean, when we went, it's different when you win a championship coming into the season. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's still fun, all giggles and like, oh, we won.
Yeah.
So it was a hard transition the first couple of weeks. Thankfully, we had a bye week because the school that we wanted to play, they canceled on us and all that type of stuff. So we had a weird little fresh start, and it was rough. We didn't have the right conditioning, in my opinion. Going into our real game against Sage Hill, that was a real tough game. They were number one team in the state, and I knew that going up to it. And my team started to get real serious the week of. And I felt like if we didn't get serious that week of, we wouldn't have gone anywhere through that season, because then we realized, wait, this team's legit and we got to start picking it up. Not just 20-40s, 40-40s. We got to go 60-80. We got to start picking it up. So that to me was big.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. Hey, you talk about your junior year. I said, I mean, that's going to, be, in your memory bank forever. Is, you'll cherish those
definitely.
memories.
Yeah, I have my ring right here, actually.
Okay.
I have a couple of my rings right now.
Oh, very nice.
So I got my basketball ring here. This one's right here.
Wow, that is magnificent.
This is basketball. Yeah, it's basketball. And then you got this one's the junior year.
Okay.
You got a little view at the little one on the side. And then I have one more. It's my All-American. It's when I played at SoFi.
Okay.
But here's this one. This one is
wow.
That has a side a little bit.
Yeah, that's fabulous.
The lighting doesn't really show it, but
yeah, that state championship game is something. Again, I mean that just talk about just going through that. I mean, the stats you put up were just tremendous. I mean, I think 150 yards you ran for, 12 tackles, 1 sack for interception, 4 touchdowns. I think 100 yards. I don't know if it was in receive. I mean, when you think back on that and what you were able to do, I mean, I always ask athletes, during the course of the game, what is transpiring through their mind when they're like locked in, they're in the zone. Obviously, in that game, you were just firing on all cylinders, AC.
Yeah, I woke up with 103 fever that day. It was a tough day. I didn't know if I was going to play at all. Persevered. I prayed the whole time. I don't know how to explain it. God is my best friend. So I went to that game. We all were sick, and we all made a choice, and we're like, oh, we're going to try our hardest. And whether or not you're sick or not, you know how it goes. It's a choice. So I think I got like 2 touchdowns in a row. And then I started, my team started to fall apart a little bit on defense, but that, things happen. And I just kept going. I said, forget it. I'm just going to go till I go 0-0-0. And whatever happened that game, it kind of felt like, like a dream passed, but it was an amazing experience. And I'm glad that I got to experience it with my team. And I don't think I would be who I am if I didn't go through that. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I mean, just the fact that, I mean, again, you talked about perseverance. I mean, just that grit and determination. I mean, just to overcome, the injuries and, as you said, feeling sick, feeling miserable, but and to see again, you guys come out on top, as said, receive those rings, raise a trophy, represent the school in the best light, and just for the community as well. I mean, again, that's icing on the cake. Talk about putting that Contenders jersey and helmet on, that number 1 jersey. I mean, what is that What did that, represent to you personally, AC?
I still got the jersey back here.
Yeah.
It's there you go. But
Yeah.
it's a privilege. I feel like that's the best word to say, privilege. To be an athlete in general, you have to maintain grades even on the days you don't want to, and
Mhm.
stay up late nights after tournaments and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But I really feel like, persevering through all that and just you want as a player, and whether it's rings or whether it's to get to a D1 Division One school, or whether it's just to help you with your career in general.
Mhm.
Whatever in between, I think that's the goal, because it's between
Yeah.
you, me, and no one else. You can't compare anyone else's story to yours, because their story is so different to your story.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big thing for me.
I mean, it's a grind. I mean, it's 24/7,
Every day.
365. I mean, we can't take a day off. I mean, if you want to
No.
be the best at your craft, I mean, it's you got to have that commitment, that
Yeah.
dedication. Obviously, you have met that criteria. Just in terms of training for a season, as athletes, is strength and conditioning, nutrition, rest and recovery. There's so many components that go into it, because if you don't have that in place, it makes it very difficult. It's an uphill climb in terms of how a season is gonna pan out.
Very true. Very true. Very true. I think the best way, and like you named a couple great things. You said recovery. I think
Yeah.
recovery. I think going 5 times a week, it's awesome. So that's what I do. I take 1 to 2 days off a little bit, because the 5 days I'm going as hard as I can,
Yeah.
110%. But of course, there's days where you're sore and you don't want to go in there,
Mhm.
and you don't want to do that work, but you do, because
Yeah.
today means more than yesterday, because you wanted to do it yesterday, but today you don't want to do it. So that
Mhm.
just you gotta push yourself to that level where that bar, you gotta get above that bar.
Yeah.
Um, so always pushing towards looking towards a better future, I feel like, but staying in the present.
Yeah. You know, and just to throw this into the mix, AC, is that, and this was evident, of course, during COVID, was mental health, and still is to this day.
Yeah,
For kids trying
highly.
to readjust, acclimate themselves with the high school, culture and environment. I think it applies to athletes as well, because if physically you have to be there, but if you're not, again, locked in, and you're not, you have your headspace there, could really mess you up, and just derail any type of success that you want to be able to achieve.
Yeah, a lot of players have you seen recently, social media has taken them off their grind, and has
Yeah.
taken them off their assets on what actually got them there.
Social media
Social
can be
media.
a positive
Yeah.
thing or a negative thing. I was learning this
Yes.
in school the other day.
Yeah.
A preacher actually was talking about it, and he made a very good point in my opinion. If something's hindering your life, don't do it.
Hmm.
If something's bettering your life, then pursue it. So whatever you are as a person, if you're an addictive type of person, then you probably shouldn't do something that's gonna make your mind keep going on repeat.
Yeah.
You should probably use something that keeps your mind open and free, not something
Hmm.
that keeps you like a dog and keeps going. And so I
Yeah.
feel like TikTok, you have like these apps that the word TikTok is like a clock. It wastes your time. People don't see
Yeah.
this. I don't see why, but it's smart for people that are making money off of it and that are making good off of it. But the people that don't
Hmm.
see it and problems and the things you like and all that stuff, the feed will hear you. And if you're a sad person, you're gonna see more sad things.
Yeah.
So like the biggest thing what I'm trying to say is use social media to your ideology, because only you know. For me, I use it for sports and business, and that's it.
Yeah.
Nothing else personal, because I don't need it. I like the world. I like the earth. I love trees, nature, reading books, coffee. I just like to do things, not be on my
Hmm.
phone all.
Yeah.
So I think I know why a lot of people have mental problems. It's because they don't want to get out and do things. Not
Yeah.
necessarily that doesn't why they don't have mental issues, but I really feel like if they went and pursued it, they could have really, really tried to help and fix themselves as much as they can without the technology. I
Yeah.
think it makes it, but
Hey, AC, you could be a motivational speaker. I think, or a preacher, because you definitely speak the gospel. Because I think that I'm so glad you did bring it up, because I was going to ask you at the end about highlight videos, social media, but I think you really have brought out some outstanding points, because I think the fact that you're right, I think it's great. I ask athletes, you post your training, your practice, your game footage. That's great. But you know what? It's the key I've found, like in my area or my arena, is to go out there and meet people, to connect. And
Yeah.
this is a great forum to be able to conduct these interviews with athletes and with coaches. But you get to meet people from different states. You get to see how they live. There's so much that goes into, and I think that gets lost in it. I think you're right. If people are so hung up on social media and being on their phone, they truly don't get, the opportunity to experience this world, to get out there. And I think it's so essential. And it's, we were dealing with it in COVID time, and now even 3 years removed from that, people are still isolated, and they've been talking a lot about loneliness. And it's really sad to see that. And I think a lot of athletes go through that. And I think, because we talked about before we came on the air, the competitive nature of athletics. And I, always heard it from one football coach: control what you can control. And, I think that's the best advice, someone can offer, is that not to measure yourself up against other people, just to be in your own, space, your own lane, and just be laser focused. And I try to do that as well. You can't, there are larger media outlets out there you can't compete with. And I just try to do the best I can every day, and just try to be productive, and maybe make this world, a little bit better with all the despair that we have ongoing right now. But
the thing you can do is try in this world. And if you don't try, then at least if you try, at least you tried. So
that's right. Yeah, give it your best. Put your best foot forward.
That's why I had a choice between basketball and football this year in my life, and my dad was a national championship basketball player, and he's a 6'4" dude, and he was like, "Go football, go football." Well, you want to follow your dad's steps, kind of, and just kind of do what he did. And I was gonna go to a school at NAIA. I had a full ride scholarship. Great talk with the coach, and they actually went and were a contender for the national title this year. They fell short by 1 point. Man, but, that to me, what made me even hungrier as a player. I'm like, I can go there, I can win another one, I can get another ring. I'm always about the rings. But then I took a step back, and I was shooting in the gym one day by myself, and I was just like, I can't do this every day by myself. Like you're saying, isolated, and that's all fun and all, but when you on a team bigger than yourself, when you got 22 boys, dogs together collectively that want to win something, that I don't think anything else can get bigger or nicer than that. I really don't. And it brings a smile on my face, because since I was a kid, I played, NCAA games looking, I'm gonna be on that screen one day. I'm gonna be on that screen one day. And I'm coming to the point where I have that opportunity, and glory to God. I really don't know how to say it. So,
hey, I have to ask you about Friday night lights, Saturday afternoons during the fall, home games at Faith Baptist High School, even those bus trips to the road games. That's where you really have that, brother. You develop that chemistry, that cohesiveness.
I was always that quiet guy, though. I always sat in the back. I was always headphones in. I was just so lasered in. Anyone talking to me, I'd get mad at them. I said, I'm locked in.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me.
Yeah.
But yes, there's all different types of personalities. Kids that are a little bit nonchalant before a game. I mean, that's good to have, though, too, because you need that space of let's have fun, because that's what sports is. It's fun. It's not strict fun. You can't have strict fun. That's why I enjoyed all those personalities, all of them. Whether it was the little goofy kid that kept screaming on the bus, who's a ninth grader, doesn't know what he's doing. And all you tell him, shut up. So, you teach and you learn. And I think the best thing is not to be so wise in this world, because if you think you're so wise, you're really a fool. I mean, that's what the Bible says. So always just trying to keep feeding information yourself and keep getting better. But it was everything was fun. I think the worst road trip for me was it was our state championship game for basketball. It was against Palm Springs. It was like all the way out there, 103 in the bus. I had no water all the way up through there. I was puking at halftime. It was so hot in that gym. We won. It was fun.
Yeah.
But, wow. That was a bad one. And then I think the best was definitely the drive back after we won the state championship. It gives me literal chills.
Goosebumps, yeah.
I don't remember what we were singing. We just kept singing the whole way there. That was awesome. We got Chick-fil-A and
oh, nice.
Real blessed to have that opportunity. Just to see, I lost my senior year and won my junior year, but I think I'm very blessed to lose my senior year. I know it's weird to say, but I don't think if I would have lost, I don't think I would have appreciated my junior year as much.
Yeah.
Because if we're going, winning in life, it's fun, it's easy. But when people lose, you see a lot of people just stay there. And I feel like the real people, the real perseverers that want to keep achieving something will get up and keep going.
That's true.
One win or one loss doesn't make you who you are. You just have
exactly. Yeah. So. No, make all valid points. You're right on that. How tough was that? Take off that jersey. I mean, one last time. I mean, I always I'm trying to get perspective from the athletes what that moment is like, because again, all the blood, sweat, and tears for 4 years, and that's it. I mean, it's like it comes down crashing. You're like, wow, like I'm not gonna step on this field, with my brothers, with my teammates, my coaches, ever again. I mean, this time, now here in several months, you'll be, on the college campus. Just describe those, vibes.
From the very beginning to the end, it just even choosing my number one was fun, So keeping that number for the rest, like for 4 years, I just was like, that's my number. And I mentally was like, I'm going to retire that number one day. And hopefully one day they do. And if not, so be it. But I taking off that jersey, my dad was next to me and he was just saying, oh, this isn't the last time you're going to take off your jersey, AC. Don't worry. Because we didn't know that I had this look from UAPB. We didn't have anything. I had no offers, nothing going into my senior year. Yeah. And I think that made it like that kind of like kept the faith in me, the hope that I was trying to tell you about, because when your dad believes in you, I feel like it kind of keeps the train going. It's tough to keep going. But taking that jersey off right when I slid it off, I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's definitely it's like drinking water after a long day. I feel like it's not necessarily something sad or happy, but it's just kind of just, a feeling that you won't forget, because like you said, years of just hours, 5 a.m. every day. When everyone was sleeping, happy in their beds, I was up, just trying to get that ring. And I'm going to in college. I feel like that's what is pushing me even more. It's like, I didn't get that senior year. I want every year, and every year is gonna be my year because I have that choice. So I'm definitely gonna be grinding a lot when I'm in UAPB. And I want to bring that dog that I have over there, and I kind of want to bring something that maybe they don't have. I don't know, but I'm gonna do something. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it's terrific. Great transition. Talked about being a student athlete, the fact that you've been able to maintain your grades throughout high school, A's and B's, and 3.3 GPA. You definitely had that time management organization down pat. And that was, critical, because as you talked about, I mean, between all the demands, I mean, you talk about training, weightlifting, games, still having to come home, as you said, late at night and still hit the books, study for tests. That's not easy, to do so. And again, not every athlete is cut out for that regimen. You have to repeat that every single day.
Yeah, you have to be on the grind, like you were trying to say. I think a lot of athletes fall short here. And I feel like that's why when you say athlete, you got to say student athlete, like you just said. Student, then athlete, then athlete. And before 8th grade, I had bad grades all the way through my life. I didn't learn how to read till I was in 4th grade. I had issues with my family at a young age, and you know, how it goes. And finally learned how to read and got that going. And so I feel like failing my, you know, the first part of my life at a childhood age, it made me so hungry. And whenever I got a B or a C, I feel like that little kid inside. I'm just like, man, this isn't me. I can do better, because anybody can work for an A. It really is effort. I mean, if you want to say it isn't, then so be it. But it is effort. But yeah, school is tough. So being a student athlete doesn't require necessarily just working out every day. You got like you said, time management. So when I get home, I do my homework right away. No time wasted there, because at least I'm focused then. And then after that, if I'm tired, I can still go train, because I just have to just work a little harder physically to get there. So being a student athlete means that you study, you maintain, and you keep going, because one grade doesn't like just like a game. One game doesn't, one test doesn't just show you who you are. It just one test. So you have to be taking tests throughout your whole life, whether it's to be a president or not. So that's what I said.
I mean, these are life lessons. I mean, the fact that, you know, on the field, off the field, you're learning, and this is setting you up for a career. I mean, you know, it is still football after, you know, college, but, you know, or it's a job, you know, this is really what is preparing you for the real world. And I think, you know, you can't, I mean, you have to fully appreciate the best of both worlds. And I think it's just, you know, it's a testament to, you know, your willingness and just your work ethic, what you've been able to, you know, do. I mean, that's just, I mean, that is, again, you know, is, you know, just fabulous. I mean, just to see how much, you know, again, you're back against the wall, but you're willing to rise up and, you know, meet the challenge, you know, head on. Hey, talk about, I mean, when committed to the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. I mean, that's just, we've seen it on social media, proud moment for you and your family. Just talk about the exhilaration, the joy, you know, that came out of that, you know, commitment.
Well, me and my father reached out to 1,500 colleges, beginning of football season, and we kept it throughout the whole season. And we just kept going, sending everything, my clips, everything. And Coach Callaway, one coach out of all of them, he gave me a shot, and he said, come out here if you want to come out visit the school on April 1st. We'll give you a tour. And so I booked the flight as fast as I could. And I was just like, I don't know whether or not that was a visit or not. I just heard come by. All right, so Dad, we're going. So we bought that ticket and we flew, and we got there, and just stepping on that, you know, HBCU university, and feeling the education and history that was there for me, that meant a lot, because that I already know that this school means a lot to the people here. That means loyal fans. That means people that love you, people that have joy and that are happy. And it was, you know, I stepped on that football field and I could see myself doing something, and I got chills and just goosebumps. I felt like God was speaking to me. And the biggest part for me is to get on a platform to speak the word of God, the word of Christ, because I think a lot of people need that right now in this world. I think we're getting to a point in dark ages where people are losing sight of God, and we gotta get right back on and to just keep focus on Him and not all this other stuff, and just focus on love and peace. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, well said. No, definitely. It's again, that's great to hear. Hey, I wanted to circle back to Faith Baptist High School in terms of the support from the student body, the administration, athletic department, for the football team, for you also these 4 years. If you can speak to that as well, EC. Yeah.
It was, I don't know, my school isn't very, you know, sports oriented. They're more academic. They're college prep school. So, I mean, there's a quiz every day. There's a test every Friday, every Tuesday, or like, so there's always like a test it's awful. But which is awesome for me though, because going into college, and I knew I was going to go to college, it helped. It's going to help a lot. I've taken a couple college courses already, and they were kind of sneezed by because of my school, and by the credits that they made me take and the academics. It's a lot. But with that being said, what was your first question though? I was back in track to that.
Oh yeah, no, I was just asking, just in terms of that support system, for the football team, and for you, just
So
what did they do?
With the academics, they supported me a lot. With basketball and football, they had only a couple connections from a couple of JUCOs around the area, and it's 8-man football, so 8-man football isn't really big on the maps. Only like a couple of football players. You have Coed from the Bears, the running back, and you have Vanderez from the Cowboys, the middle linebacker. Those are probably the two biggest 8-man football players that people know of. And it was tough to get my name out there. So me and my dad made it kind of our own side, just saying we don't really necessarily need help from faculty or people. We'll do it ourselves. And that's where we kind of strayed away from asking for help. We kind of just went and did it ourselves because you can only help someone to a certain extent. So but my coaches were always, they were super happy for me. They were pumped. I didn't get a signing day. They don't do signing days at my school, so I didn't get that. But I got a couple, congrats, and I feel like my next side of my mission, it's definitely gonna open people's ears and eyes up. So that's kind of where maybe I didn't get that much love, but I definitely got appreciated. So that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's the key. Hey, obviously you have a great family support system.
Yes.
Talked about your dad, front and center, but mom, stepmom, half brother, your dog Luna, a black lab, and a cat named Binks. So it's great to have that, just is circling you and just
all
again,
different characters in the
uplifting
house.
you and just through this academic and athletic journey.
Yeah, my stepmom. I think my stepmom on the academic side was a very big help on me. She pushed me. I mean, where my project was a C, she made it an A. Not me, not her helping me like that, but her telling me that's not good. You can do better. And her pushing me to that level. Where now when I'm at I'm looking at my papers and my homework, sometimes I'm like, yeah, I can do better than this. Let me redo it. And that starts from family. Family's always first. And that's why I want to, I chose UAPB because they have a family. They're very proud about their family. And I think I read something where they're called the Black Swarm or something like that. And that's what they call them when they tackle them. And that was big for me. My team wasn't very big at team tackling. I feel like I was a very good individual at, tackle them real quick. And for the people that made a mistake on that aspect of it, I'm not going to call them that, of course, but always trying to help, always knowing who can make a mistake on the field. With me too, people knew I'm not very good at remembering plays from the coach's back because I'm not a quarterback, but my team knew that and they took that into consideration. So with my family, they know who I am and they help me shape me who I am because they know where my offs are. I'm a little angry from this, or I have a little hot, for this, or whatever the case is. They help me shift the person and put my head back on straight to realize it's my future and only the person that can choose things and choices is me. God doesn't make me choose choices. Satan doesn't make me choose choices. I choose my choice. It's called free will. So I feel like having the free will and respect towards your family and understanding that it's a respect and love thing, it's big because you can love someone but not respect them. So I feel like I have a lot of respect for my family and I appreciate everything they've done.
It's again beautiful to hear. And this is what's truly unique. I'm so glad you provided this info, AC, is that your background, half Argentinian and German, a mix of Italian, Middle Eastern, Irish, and a little Chippewa Indian. It's truly unique. I don't think I've come across an athlete that has that many, different backgrounds.
I did a bunch of things.
Turns out that's something to really be proud of. The fact that you can so many cultures and be able to learn them, to just dive in and just experience it. Just talk about that.
My mom's born and raised in Buenos Aires and Argentina. I don't speak Spanish. I used to as a kid because when English is such a powerful language, it's tough to be fluent. So I'm still working on it, and my grandma recently she passed away from cancer, so I feel like
sorry to hear that.
it's okay. That's life. But
Yeah.
she taught me a lot, and honestly, it was just to keep going and always be happy because it's a choice. And no, it's been definitely a road. It's definitely been a road.
Yeah.
So
Hey, you took. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
So my grandpa is from, I think, Italy, and so he came down to Argentina, had my family with my grandma, and then they have, for my Italy side, I have Middle Eastern, and then I have a bunch of, my dad's side is German, Irish. He's from Michigan, so I got that diversity. But yeah, it is definitely fun. I definitely want to be one of the known Argentinian American football players, because there's a lot of football players that like Messi, and you have a bunch of Argentinians that play soccer, but you don't really see people that play football. So that's definitely where I want to make a big stand.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's great. Hey, I wanted to ask you, I have a couple more left. That in terms of basketball, that game you provided the info against Valley Torah High School, where Faith Baptist had not defeated them in 10 years. Coming off the bench, scoring 27 points. I mean, so I wanted to ask you that was just like, that is going to always be, said,
that's in my back pocket for sure.
Yeah, that's in your back pocket. That one you will carry for the rest of your life. So to come off the bench, hold, but, be able to, just put up, just dominate in that fashion. Just describe that, DC.
Well, in my state championship game, I dislocated my thumb.
Ooh.
So, it was, I stepped on the kid, and, it got caught back, and it just popped.
Oh, my God. Yikes.
But, I mean, I put it back in, and I threw 2 more touchdowns. So, but after that game, that Monday, it was a Saturday game. That Monday, I played another basketball game, and it was the beginning of our basketball season. So I had to take off 4 games, and one of the games was against Valley Torah at their place.
Okay.
So I wanted to see, I was scouting a little bit, and the next game we played against at our house, and that's just where my coach sat me, because I wasn't there at the practices, my thumb and icing. So he put the personnel that kind of, competed with them against last game. So then I got subbed in, and then I hit 6 threes in a row.
Wow.
And then I started hitting layups, free throws, and we beat them by 10 or something. Oh, and I stormed. Oh, I was going everywhere. My freshman year, they beat us by 90 points. And that's a lot of points.
Yeah, that is just
I have never been
jaw dropping.
Yeah, they were good. They were top 25 team in the nation that year, my freshman year. So coming back and beating them after 10 years, it felt so good. And like you said, I will never forget that moment ever in my life. Ever.
I mean, it's like you got, ice water in your veins, I said, when you're hitting from behind the arc, I mean, those shots are just hitting nothing but net, nothing but twine. And you're like,
they flow.
It's just, you feel that flow. You feel like, just when you release the shot, it's going to go in. It's just
but that's the thing I don't like about basketball. When you're off, you are off. You are off. So
chucking up bricks.
And you figure, I don't know what's happening today. Is it me or is it the ball? So that's why I like football more. It's you know what you can do, and maybe there's pain involved, but when is it there, and you have every control of it. That's why I like football more and hitting kids. So,
hey, before we came on the air, we were talking about this. Now, it did not end well for you in football, this year, but we were talking about the school that you guys lost to, which is a very inspirational story. It's the California School for the Deaf Riverside. I think this is something, I want you to because I think, as you said, these guys are not going to play at the next level. So, but this is, if there was a team, I guess you did want to see you win, this would be, obviously the school to do it. So just talk about that, EC.
Going to our junior year, we saw this team called, CSDR. We saw, articles. Then we started seeing actual news press at their school. And then we're here playing against them eye to eye. And they came out with, they can't talk. So
yeah,
when all the players, they all turn at them before the snap, and he'll signal whatever the coach will signal to him, and then he'll make his couple noises or whatever the indicating hike is, and you go like 1, 2, and then the ball will just snap and it's live. Yeah. So it's a challenge for them. I know that, and it was nice to win on that first part, but it was also fun to see them come back the next year, and they worked hard. They worked harder than we did. And it's tough to say that, but they did. And they beat us fair and square. And it was interesting because you never think that these kids couldn't play college ball just because they're deaf. But they can't. And there's like a Division III, I think, deaf football team that Adams, who's the starting quarterback for CSDR, he's going to play there, and he's going to be really good. He's going to be really, really, really good. And then there was a wide receiver. His name was, I can't remember his name right now. He's number 3 on their team. He's not going to play college ball, but he played on the USA team, and he was the only deaf player on the USA team. So I thought that was pretty cool for basketball. And they're athletes. They can play. And I talked to all of them after, and they all have very good hearts, and they're competitors. They want to compete. And the whole history, just even being there the first year playing against us and coming back and winning it and having a whole Disney show on it and everything, I'm good to them. Glory to them. And, God's good, because I feel like they really showing other kids that are deaf, like, hey, we can do this. And whatever inspires, like inspiration is positive. And I get, like we had to compete against them, but that had nothing to do with anything. It's just a game. At the end of the day. But they took it home and they won, and they can go home, being champs.
Yeah. No, so it's a great points you made up. And I wanted to ask you about, I guess, either college or maybe NFL. I see the Julian Edelman jersey in the background. So I'm wondering,
that's my favorite.
That's just, that type of player, just what they embody, especially Julian Edelman, that you see in yourself as well.
Yeah, he was a big inspiration to me. He was a small player, He didn't play till like his senior year, basically. And that to me showed me, like, if he can do it, that guy, I can do it. So that's why I have his jersey up. I used to live in Boston. If you see up there, they hate us because they ain't us. I feel like I keep that around, that saying, anywhere, because if you're hating, then there's a reason why you hate. So being a Pats fan, I saw that guy have that impossible catch where he got caught on his fingertips.
But
I would love to go to NFL, of course, or CFL, XFL. I mean, anywhere where you're getting paid for what you do that's the purpose of it. I want to play football for as long as I can, hopefully I can. But I'm definitely pushing for that, trying to get, I'm at a 4.5, 4.6 right now. I'm, trying to push it down. But just like anything, some days you run better, some days you run worse. That's what sucks about running. So you have to have real good nutrition to get the numbers you want.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, I was born in Beantown, even though I've been living here in New Jersey most of my life.
What part are you from?
Well, when my parents, said they lived close to Harvard University, they were probably about 5-10 minutes away from there. So
I'm from Natick. You know where Natick is? Woodchester.
Because it's been so long. I was there. You know what it is? When I moved out, I was like only a couple of years old. I don't even remember it. That's the thing. But now getting to visit, so I was there about 7 years ago. And it was really cool. I got to, see where my parents live, where they went to school.
It's a beautiful country.
It is absolutely a magnificent city. It is just, even the outskirts, the suburbs are just as,
they're beautiful. I love everything.
Yeah, they're great.
I love Boston. I kind of wish I went to high school over there, because they have good ball over there too.
I know. Hey, before you get the final word and message here, AC, I think you're truly, not only inspiration, but you're a role model for a lot of kids out there. And I'm wondering, we talked about it over and over, how competitive it's out there. And, it's survival of the fittest almost. So I'm wondering, what would you say to the kids out there playing sports? They're trying to move up the ladder, trying to find out what sport is going to be the perfect fit, and just trying to balance that out as well with academics. What would you say to them?
I say get 1% better every day, whether it's in baseball, soccer, football. Do what you love, and truly, and don't let your parents choose what you want to do, because you're gonna have to do it every day. And that to me was getting 1%. That's like the biggest thing for me. 1% better every day. I don't know which way or shape or form it's gonna be, but I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna try to get better at it. 1% better every day until I reach that. I mean, that max level I think I can reach, and even then, I promise you, I probably can even reach a higher level. So, yeah, to the kids that are talking, to the kids that want to be inspired, I truly say, go for what you want to go for, and dream as high as you can dream, because dreams do come true, and believers become believers. So,
yeah, well said. Okay, you see, you definitely deserve this moment. The final, I said the final word of message. You get the floor here for family, friends, teammates, coaches, of course, the student body, administration, athletic department of Faith Baptist High School, and communities of Calabasas and Canoga Park, California. So just wanted to really, I'm sure there are people you want to thank here.
Yeah.
AC.
I like to thank first my father, thank God, and thank my coaches that helped me get here and become who I am. I like to thank a couple people. I mean, they're not here anymore, like my grandma. I had this Jonathan guy. He filmed my video at SoFi AllAmerican, like the AllAmerican game there, and he passed away like a week after that. And I felt like he really inspired me there. But I like to thank my mom. I'd like to thank the kids that told me I couldn't do it. The teachers and coaches that told me that I couldn't do it, and here I am doing it. And I like to thank everybody that put me in the position I am here today. The coaches that put me at starting freshman year in football, thanks for that, because I don't think I ever got that choice and that privilege. I don't think I'd be who I am. But yeah, glory to God. That's really it.
Hey, you know what? Before I wanted to quickly just get these 2 points in. First, playing at SoFi.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just like, again, it's got to give you, those chills. It's, to get that kind of opportunity. Talk about that.
Well, playing at SoFi, so the Dream All-American Bowl, there's only four high school bowl games. You have Navy All-American, Under Armour All-American, Blue, Gray All-American, and then you have Dream All-American. So I was picked out of one of the 4 All-American games, and being from an 8-man school, it was my first 11-man football game ever.
Yeah.
That was big. And I had a couple of huge crackbacks. I got penalized for it. I caught a touchdown. I had another catch for like 15 yards, a slant or something like that. But just the practicing against all these players. I mean, they're from Texas, Ohio, Idaho. I mean, everywhere. And playing against them, competing in practice, and then playing against in a real game, a live game. It was really, really fun. We won off a field goal, and seeing your dad in the crowd, that's what you want. I think that's the biggest thing. It's not necessarily you being on the field. It's bringing your family with you to the field, because they're the reasons why you're there. It's because of their money, their work, their hard work ethic to even get you to that ability. It all starts with your parents. So I appreciate my father putting hours and countless hours into what he did for me to even be in the All-American Bowl. But they also nationally ranked me after that too. So I'm like a 1-star athlete or whatever after that because of that. So I'm really blessed to be in that position. So
it's wonderful. Hey, the final point, this is so intriguing. I wanted to bring it up because you sent me this info. The fact that you talked about, you made that transition late from flag football, you played that predominantly, to tackle football because you wanted to save especially your head. And we talk about concussions, we talk about the injuries, the physicality of football. For you, talk about that, because I think that's key, is that, to let people know, especially the kids out there, how you were able to do that, because that was not an easy transition or task.
No. Shout out to Coach John Brankus. He was from Sports Center. He's a sports science guy. He did a bunch of episodes with sports science. But he was my head coach for the little flag football thing at the time. And he said to me and my father, I had something special. And he saw a lot of the concussions protocols happening during that time. I think it was like 2012 to like 2018, around that time, where the helmets weren't as qualified as they are now.
Yeah.
So I played, flag football all the way up there, and then 9th grade, that hit. I was sore every single day.
Yeah.
I was in an ice bath every day. There wasn't a day I wasn't in an ice bath.
Yeah.
Even after practice, people are like, it's just practice. For me, it was the Super Bowl. I'm playing against these seniors that are trying to lop my head off, and I'm trying to juke them, but they're trying to get through practicing, and I'm trying to get them working for the next game. So I'm trying to play as hard as I can. But I think the transition was needed for me, and it was definitely an eye opener. And some days I wish I played tackle football a little earlier, just so I could get the hang of certain things. But I'm very glad I didn't, because I still haven't had any concussions going into college. I had no surgeries going into college. A lot of high school athletes have injuries and concussions and protocol issues that they can't do into college. I honestly think, like, because of that and God giving us that kind of hand of God through that all, I really feel like that's why I am here, because I feel like if I played at an early age, the way I tackle and the way I hit, it probably would have been gone. But
no, very true. Hey, it's just been an incredible honor and privilege being able to speak with you. Your story is just, again, so inspirational. That's just the best way I can put it. And, very happy for your success. And I know there's more to come. And, graduation, of course, at Baptist High School coming up, and then entering, into the University of Arkansas at, Pine Bluff. Just, it's, I think a lot of people, will take away a lot of good, stuff from this. And again, congrats on your success, and looking forward to seeing what you do at the next level as well.
And I appreciate you, Top Preps, for bringing me out here. And maybe we can talk in a year or so, see maybe what 1 year at college is like. So whatever happens. So I appreciate this, and I appreciate you reaching out to me and encouraging me, because you do encourage me. You texting me, what's up, that's good. I didn't get a lot of those texts, so you're one of them. So I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, AC.
No problem.